Question was, have you ever had anybody on staff that used to be a caller to the show? Jay Stu. Stevie Carbone, famously, I think a lot of you have forgotten that. Steve Carbone was actually a really good employee of this program. Stevie Carbone knew sports cold. Cold. There was another guy, and I can't remember who it was, strangely. And I don't want to say that he was a faxer at that time. Well, Dark Gable famously worked on this show, Mo Kelly. And he's gone on to have a great career of his own. So he was a famous faxer to the program. And he worked on the show for a number of years and then went out and has done a great job. So that's another one. We had a guy that was participating on the show down in D.C. for a little while. And then there was somebody else, I want to say, from like Hermosa Beach, maybe, who came in, and he was a really good contributor, and he was doing a pretty good job working on the show. And then he left a note on my desk where he quit and said, you know what, I'm not cut out for this. I'm not as good at it as I thought, and it's not working out, and I'm sorry. And he left a note on my desk and never came in, and I'm not sure that he ever even called the program before. And I mean, it was so short-lived, I don't remember who it was. Boy, Stubbs not or if anyone you could pull it out, that'd be amazing. So when you think of the question, it seems like a funny question. Like, if you ever had anybody who called the show be on the staff at Jay's too, right? That's the setup. There was actually several. Boston Finn. Remember Boston Finn? I'm going to say there were probably close to a half a dozen people that used to call or listen that made it to staff back in the day. Who else? Alvin, you never called. Hawk never called. I don't think D-Dub ever was a caller to the program. I don't think Kristen and Erica ever called the program. I know Rick never called the program. Austin Huff, I don't think ever called the program. Keith Arnold used to appear on the TV show, the daily TV show. That's how he found his way to the program.
I don't even have big nipples. Like, let's be real.
Really? Then why did they say they were pepperoni nipples, Keith? Let's be real. Adam, pick it up real quick. So, you're getting ready for the marathon again, right?
That is correct.
You had a run with Keith Arnold, the aforementioned, not long ago.
Yeah, a little tune-up 10K in his neighborhood, Redondo Beach.
And how far is 10K again?
6.2 miles.
And how'd that go?
It went really oddly. Keith just talked to me the entire time while we were running.
Why is that odd? He's always talking.
No, he's always talking for sure, but to do it during rigorous exercise, especially cardiovascular exercise, was pretty astonishing. Keith never shuts up, but to do it while we were running, and we were running at about an 8:30, 9-minute pace, somewhere in there, so I could barely catch my breath. I wanted to pass out. Keith was pushing me really hard, and the entire time he was just absolutely just wearing me out, giving me a tour of Redondo Beach while we were going, telling me his favorite restaurants, just would not stop, spitting all over the place, blowing snot rockets everywhere. He was just the most obnoxious running partner ever.
So, in effect, he was doing everything that he used to do in studio, but doing it at a 9-minute clip on the road.
Yes, which is very impressive. Like, I told him afterward, like, we didn't have headphones in because we were running together. And I said, that was like listening to a podcast. You were just wearing me out. And at one point, I told him with whatever breath I could muster up, I said, dude, I'm listening, but I can't talk back.
I was just going to say, you don't even have to talk, right? Or,
no.
Was he hitting you with big picture type questions that warranted a response?
He did hit me with one of those related to the show, and it warranted probably a 45-minute response, and I couldn't even respond to it because I was so out of breath and wanting to die because he was pushing me so hard. And the question was absurd in nature given where we were at the time. It was such a big picture question.
Well, in the meantime, he's like way more athletic than you and better at running than you, right? It was not hard for him.
Yeah, and then he was giving me advice lights. Like, as soon as I would, like, dip from a 9-minute to a 9:15 pace, he'd be like, oh, pick it up. Push your hips forward right now. Hey, you're going to want this at the finish
Like
line.
your form. He's breaking down your form.
Yeah.
And technique.
And he's like, if we don't break an hour, I'm going to kill you.
I miss this guy.
I do too. And we got...
he struck out Joe Mauer 3 times.
3 times in high school. I have no idea how he didn't make the show.
You know, he once went to a wedding and Michael Jordan knew who he was.
Michael Jordan approached him and said, tell me about your baseball life.
Did he say that?
Wish you guys nothing but best. Oh, that's what Keith told us, yes.
Did that come up during the run?
No. What came up during the run was just Keith, you know, yelling at me, talking my ear off, all of that stuff. And
That was the best day of his life, other than the day he struck out Joe Mauer 3 times.
yeah.
Man, I bet he loved running you into the ground and lecturing you about your form. Keith probably was like, man, that was great. Let's run that back, Hawk.
In fairness, I do love the guy. He is...
We all do.
Yes,
in no way am I disrespecting Keith. Keith is great.
Yeah, he's one of our favorite human beings ever because I don't think we've ever met a guy like him. And to say, did we get caught up? I mean, I definitely know everything going on in his life. I don't know if he knows anything going on in my life right now.
Why would he? He doesn't care. None of us do.
And I didn't have a chance to say anything because he was just laying out his whole life story to me while we were running.
There is one thing about his life that I would like to know. Excuse me. What happened this morning, dude?
Oh, yeah. So I left my lights on overnight.
Oh, you dope. You did not.
Yes, left the lights on overnight, woke up, the battery was dead.
God, that's the worst feeling.
It is. Luckily, I'm a proud...
Especially when it's your fault.
Yes, but I'm a proud card-carrying member of AAA.
Good.
And at that time of day, they were very quick to come and just give me a jump. It was a new battery, just needed a jump. At least my car wasn't towed for illegally parking it like last year in Costa Mesa. So this was a...
Why don't you just give them our address?
Well, I mean, last year...
Did you know that Keith Arnold's brother blocked on Joe Thomas?
I know because Keith volunteered that information to us, yes, at the time that your son was getting into Wisconsin.
Keith is amazing. You know, like how you know people? Like, everybody has a guy in their group that knows a lot of people. Like, for me, it's David Feldman. David Feldman, because he's an entertainment attorney, I can't walk 5 feet in any direction, Adam, without Feldman knowing somebody in person. Like Feldman, we can't go anywhere. We'll never get anywhere because you know everybody. Keith knows literally everybody on the planet. And if he doesn't know them directly, he knows somebody who knows them. Have you ever noticed that?
Absolutely. The difference between Keith and Feldman is these interactions with Feldman are happening in person. With Keith, it's just you got to take his word for it. He has a buddy for everything. He knows everybody. There's no one that
can't be everywhere in one place at one time. That's not fair to him. Like, if he knows somebody who played at the University of Kentucky, he can't be physically in Lexington to rub up against that guy. It's not his fault.
That's fair. But there's no one in the history of the world that Keith Arnold doesn't know personally.
Or know of somebody who knows that person.
Or struck them out or athletically bested them, yes.
Or jumped over them and threw one down. Or athletically bested them. Keith, my man. It's a lot of run for you in the jungle, bro. We miss you. Huge call brought to you by Capital One Saver Card. Earn 4% cash back on dining and entertainment, 2% at grocery stores, 1% on all other purchases. What's in your wallet? My thanks to CJ Nikowski back in hour number 1. Mark Pope was an absolute freaking revelation. Troy Polamalu was back in. I'm going to do a podcast right after this show. Trevor Moad, a mental conditioning expert. Really interesting person. That's F-117. We'll push that out a little bit later on. Thanks for listening. You have yourself a great Wednesday, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow. Hey guys, never a good look when you untuck a long, bulky dress shirt. Now, you may think it makes you look casual, but more than likely, you just end up looking sloppy. This is why Untuck It makes shirts that are specifically designed to be worn untucked. It's a casual shirt. It's not too long and not too short. It's just right. Shirts designed so well that GQ calls them perfection. Untuck It shirts are a go-to for any occasion, from casual to dressy. And not only do they look good, they feel amazing. Even the wrinkle-free options. Untuck It offers 50 many fit combinations so tall, short, slim, and bigger guys of all ages can experience the perfect fitting shirt. So log on to untuckit.com and check out all the new arrivals. Use the promo code ROAM for 20% off your entire first-time purchase. You can also visit one of Untuckit's over 80 retail locations across the country. So stop hiding your shirt with your pants and your pants with your shirt. Untuckit.com, your solution to perfecting casual. Use the promo code ROAM.